Hello everyone, this is time now to start entering the data in Excel workbook. So what we'll be doing, we'll be understanding the data entry process first. To enter data, we need a new workbook or either we can just, enter the data in an existing file. So we are creating a new workbook. So to create a new workbook, you need to just press the Control N button from the keyboard. A new workbook is created. So now, as you can see, the name of this workbook is Book 2, and it has got one sheet as a sheet 1. All right. Now, what we'll be doing, we'll be understanding the data entry process first. As I have just said, that we have segregated the data entry process in different parts. So let's cover each of them one by one. So first is your environment. What is an environment? So let me just tell you, Excel application is an environment in itself, right? And it carries multiple environments within the Excel application. First of all is going to be a workbook environment. What is a workbook environment? As you know that a workbook may contain one or more worksheets, and a worksheet, a single worksheet may contain one or more data sets. So when we combine all these data sets and the sheets, that becomes a workbook environment, right? If you have multiple worksheets, if you have a single worksheet, right? All is part of that workbook environment, right, guys? What is the worksheet environment? So your worksheet may contain, I'm just talking about a single worksheet, right? Not group of the worksheet. So when there is a group of worksheet, that becomes a part of the workbook environment. When we are talking about a single worksheet, then we are talking about the worksheet environment. So when in a single worksheet, you may have one or more data sets, and uh, all those data sets lie within the cell, right? So when we combine all the contents of any particular single worksheet, that becomes a worksheet environment. Because the action we'll be performing will be done on that specific worksheet environment, not beyond that point. Correct? What is next? Next is the cell environment, which is the smallest one. Cell environment is the restricted kind of thing, a limited, which doesn't work beyond that point, right? So cell environment within work within that area only. So let me just show it to you. Suppose if I click here, this becomes your particular cell. This becomes our active cell, current cell. So whatever changes we'll be making here will be done in this particular cell only, not elsewhere. Right? What does that mean? So no action will be performed beyond this environment, beyond this cell environment. So this is called the cell environment, and which is restricted to this particular. Why I'm telling the restriction word again and again? Because in a worksheet environment, your entire cell gets impacted, but in a cell environment, only single cell get impacted. So that's the reason. So this is a restriction, this is a limitation of the cell environment, right? Now next is the selection environment, that we also need to understand. What is the meaning of cell environment? Suppose if you select, not cell, sorry, select environment. If you make a selection in the Excel worksheet, what happens? This becomes your work area. This is your working space, right? Where whatever you will be performing, whatever action you will be doing, will be action will be done within this environment only, not beyond this area, right? And that becomes a selection environment. Your selection can be small, your selection could be large. If you select the entire sheet, suppose you click here, your entire sheet gets selected. Now you start working. What will happen actually? So this is a selection environment, right? So whatever the task you will be doing will be done within the selection environment, not beyond selection environment, right? So I hope you have understood. So this is the basic part of the data entry process which we need to understand. I'm telling you, no one is going to tell you all this. You need to also understand, right? The next topic which we are going to cover are the next is the segments which we have created. There will be different segments which you will be learning as we move on in the session, right? So we have entering segment, editing, clearing, deleting, copying, and moving segment, right? And the next one is your data type segment. So where we'll be understanding the different types of the data, right? We have the text, number, date, formula, and functions data type. So this is the core part of the data entry process. When you start working in Excel, no, you will need to have you will need to have the knowledge of all these segments, all these particulars, right, of the data entry process. The next is the element. So the different you will find different elements while working in the Excel workbook or Excel worksheet or Excel data, right? Then another one is the keyboard keys. So what you will be doing when you will start putting in the data in Excel workbook, you need to have the knowledge of all the important crucial keys. These are called the crucial keys, which are required to be known when you are entering the data in an Excel workbook in Excel worksheet. What it will do basically, what all these keys will do for you. These keys are really gonna help you and save you a lot of time and your effort. This will make your work effortless. So we need to when we start working in the data entry environment, data entry process, you need to have the knowledge of all these segments, right? So now in this particular video, we have just covered the environment topic. In the next video, we'll cover the segments, data types, elements, and the keyboard key, right? Stick with us and do watching our videos. I'll meet you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.